Okay, everybody. This is the third video that I am recording today. This one is talking about The Last of Us, not the video game, not the TV show, the movie. The Last of Us movie that you don't know about. I'm going to explain why you don't know about it. Okay, so the reason you don't know about it is because the reason you don't know this movie exists is because it's not called The Last of Us. This movie came out years ago under the name The Girl with All the Gifts. If you've heard of this movie, you know what I'm talking about. You may have drawn the conclusion that this is a Last of Us movie. And I'm gonna go over all of that. It was the Girl with All the Gifts is it's a horror movie, sorta horror slash suspense movie. It came out a few years ago. I first heard about it on on Bloodbath and Beyond. They reviewed this movie. That's where I heard about it. I'm like, oh, that was an interesting movie. And then one of the things I noticed in their review that they said that this is based on a fungus that is common in ant colonies. It turns people, and it is like it jumps to humans, and it turns them into these zombie-like things. And I remember like Jay, one of the guys that does the reviews, his name's Jay. He pointed out that he said he liked that because it wasn't just a virus or anything; it was nature gone wrong. And I was like, I looked, and then if you look at them, you look at those zombies, you look at the infected, I should say, in the Girl with All the Gifts, and they look exactly like the infected from Last of Us. They look exactly the same. I was like, huh, that's weird. They're not only using the same like infection, but they made them look like the zombies. They made them look like the infected from the game, from Last of Us. That's weird. And it was like, and then after I saw the review, I couldn't really find the movie. Then years later, about 2 to 3 years before the Last of Us show comes out, I saw I saw the movie on HBO Max. I was like, oh sweet, it's here, and I watched it. I'm looking at this. I watched this movie, and I'm looking at it, and I can't help but notice that a lot of the things in this movie look like The Last of Us. It's like these sets, this environment looks like things I've seen in the Last of Us video game. Um, the main character, the girl, um, she's infected with the fungus, but she's not, but she's immune to it. Kind of like Ellie. Where it's different is that they have like 30 of these kids. There are 30 different kids who all have it, and they're all immune. But and then again, further going along with that, they were all born with it. Their parents, their mothers, were infected. They got pregnant and had these kids, but they all have it, but they're all immune. So, but the thing is with the kids is that they they seem normal until until they they seem normal until they see like an uninfected human. When they see an uninfected human, they see or smell an uninfected human, they rage out and they attack. But other than that, they're normal. So to prevent them from, so for like all the uninfected people, to prevent themselves from being attacked, they have to wear a special deodorant that covers up their smell. Like one of the soldiers like exhibits this, like he explains this by like wiping off the deodorant off his arm and then putting it in their face. And then she goes like, and she's in the restraint and she starts going crazy and starts like trying to attack him. And he does that to prove to the doctor that takes care of the kids, is like, these things are not human. They look human. They can act human, but they are not human. They will kill you the first chance they get. You need to be careful. And of course, she cares for all these kids like they're kids, so she doesn't really believe that. The facility, and it's like this group, and then again another comparison. This group looks exactly like the Fireflies. They look and act just like Fireflies. You know, one day the facility gets attacked by a bunch of infected. They have to pack up everything and they have to start leaving. They have to leave and they have to go across the country to another facility. Just like in Last of Us. He but they could only bring one girl. They have they couldn't bring all of the kids. Just that one girl. She's the girl that's on the cover. That's on the cover of the box. So she comes out. So they bring her out. They have to unrestrain her. They bring her out, and for the most part, she's normal. They and it's like when they get to the city, and I'm looking at this place. I'm looking at this set. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, this looks just like the city. Just looks like one of the cities in the game, in The Last of Us. It's like it looks exactly like it. I think what is it? That city, the place you go right after the Capitol building. It's like one of those places when you go to meet the guy. Fuck, what's his name? I can't remember his name. But you go to meet him. I'm taking off my socks here. You go to meet him. And then he's like, you go to meet him, and it's like that. The set in this movie looks just like that. I'm like, this had to have been this. This movie had to have been made to go with the video game. It had to have been. Because there's too many things here that are similar. I'm trying to keep this short, people. I'm trying to keep this short. It goes, and then you find out, okay, then near the end of it, you find out from like the woman that takes care of the kid, that's trying to take care of the girl, and then you find out from another doctor that what they have to do is they have to cut out her brain. You're like, what? Yeah, we have to cut her brain out because that's where the infection is, and then we're going to use that to make a cure. And she's like, that's going to kill her. Well, yeah. Well, she's not human. This girl is not human. They can present as human, but they're not. And that's how she's justifying killing this girl in her head. And it's like in the movie, just like in the game, it doesn't work out. The doctor gets killed, but she's found. But what she decided to do, the girl decided she's gonna infect the entire area with spores. She's gonna infect the entire area with spores, so the area is not clean anymore. So the doctor, so there's this building. There was this not this building, this like this little cart that she could live in, that she can stay in. So basically, what happens after the girl infects the entire area with spores, she can't leave. She has to stay in this little van, so she can keep so she can keep sane, basically. Uh, and the girl found like other kids in the area. So she's gathered up all these kids and she sits them in front of the van, in front of the van, and then they basically like teach them. They basically like put all these kids to school, put all these kids in school. Like she's keeping them under control and having them sit down and paying attention, and then she's just teaching a class. And she's just teaching a class from the little quarantine van, and it's like that's the end of the movie. Like basically, she's decided that this is going to be our world now. You guys fucked up. You guys, like the grown ups. You messed everything up. You let this happen. So we're going to take over. We're going to take over the world now and hopefully make it better. Yep. And that was the end of it. That was the end of the movie. But it was a good movie. I'm not trying to bring this movie down. This movie was great. Uh, and as I was watching it, and I was thinking about the comparison. I formed a theory that I think this originally was going to be called The Last of Us. They were like, I think Naughty Dog hired somebody to make the Last of Us movie. They wrote the script, and then for whatever reason they're like, okay, no, we're not making the movie. Stop everything. We're not going to make this movie. It's not ready. It's not time. It's not time to make this movie. Then they but because they already had the script, they're like, well, what do we do? We got the script. They're like, okay, rework the script, take some stuff out, add in new stuff, new original stuff, and then we'll shoot that, and we'll make that movie. So they make that movie, call it The Girl with All the Gifts, and and in my opinion, it was a good movie. I mean, they made the right call doing that. But like that Last of Us feel is still there. It is still there. Like you can feel like this movie was made up to be The Last of Us. So, I'm going to talk now. Like so, the thing is, the advice I would give to you is track down The Girl with All the Gifts. It's not on HBO Max anymore, which sucks because that's where I saw it, but it's not there anymore. If you can track down The Girl with All the Gifts, watch it. It is a good movie and it deserves to be seen. Okay, now having said that, I'm going to talk briefly about the TV show. Um, Pedro Pascal, great choice as Joel. He did an amazing job. He did an amazing job from beginning to end. Amazing. They did, the writers and the showrunners and did a very good job recreating cutscenes. Like those memorable cutscenes from the movie are all there. And I think they did a good job. They did a good job recreating those. They then and then they again and they also did a good job choosing when to go along with the game, with the story of the game, and when to, what's the word? Not divert. When they like decided that, okay, let's do like here, we're gonna do something different than what they did in the game. I thought all those choices were good. This is the blueprint. This is the new blueprint for video game adaptations. This is how it should be done. Because when you do a video game adaptation, there's two things. There's two things you can do. You can make it inspired by the game, but do nothing they did in the game, and then just do your own thing. Or you can just remake the video game completely and then turn it into a movie. But when you do that, when you do certain things, like if you make a completely new thing, you piss off the gamers that played the video game. They're like, this isn't the video game. This isn't the video game. So I'm not going to watch this. But if you go too far the other way, they're like, this is exactly like the video game. I already know everything. I don't need to watch this. You want to hit that middle ground. There's a middle ground there. You want to hit that. And The Last of Us TV show hit that. Perfect. That's how you do it. The Assassin's Creed movie went too far left. Went too far this way, making it was unrecognizable. And then there's Uncharted. Then there's the Uncharted and the Tomb Raider movies that didn't go. They took stuff from the game and stuck it in the movie, but then that's all they did. They tried to make their own original stories, but then it was like, we can't. But then it's like, but it made the game it made those movies sort of unrecognizable as the properties that they were based on. And then at the end of Uncharted, they were like, they basically did like this sequel bait where they were promising that, like, oh, the next movie is going to be more like the video game. And it's like, well, no, it's too late. Like, this movie should have been more like the video game. It's too late. And yeah, there's not going to be an Uncharted 2 movie. There isn't. And at this point, I'm not even sure what they're going to use. Like, what are they even going to use for an Uncharted 2 movie because you kind of put all the best bits in the first movie. Like, the only thing you got left to use is the train sequence. If you ever played an Uncharted game, you know what I'm talking about. The train sequence. And maybe El Dorado. Other than that, I'm not really sure what else you could use. Um, you know, but here, but yeah, I got off on a tangent there. Last of Us. It's a good show. I don't know what they're going to do for season 2 because the Last of Us Part 2, that story was garbage. So I don't know what they're going to do for season 2 of the show. I really hope that what they decide to do, they decide to take the characters and then throw out the script from the game and then just completely start from scratch. I would be interested in a season 2 if that's what you did. If that's what you do. Divert. That's that word I was looking for earlier. Divert. Um yeah. So again, Girl with All the Gifts. Track that down. Watch it. It's a great movie. Hope to God season 2 of the show isn't they isn't anything like that game. It's anything like the story game. And anything like the game, that story from the game, man. I really hope. That's all we can hope for. I guess that's it, man. I ain't got nothing else to say. I think I said it all. So again, my name is Man of Lawful. Hit that like button. Hit that dislike button. Leave a comment. Hopefully subscribe. You know. I'll see you guys next time. I don't know when I'm not shooting a 4th video today. I don't know when my next video is going to be. Hopefully next week. I'm really going to try to put myself on a schedule with these videos. Hopefully see you guys next week. Bye.